I had 18 wheelers out of my mind anyway. I was like, I can't afford it. I ain't. But like I said, God, you just gotta pray and just believe. But like going back to when I was in college, I'm like, when I get out of college, I'm like, it's something gonna happen because I work too hard. Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why I don't feel too much pressure because I always did it for myself and my family. So I didn't have nobody that I was trying to prove a point to.
Thank you for joining us today. This is episode 3 of When the Ball Drops. Today I'm joined with our special guest,
Shaquille Wiggins. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I grew up in the South Side, Metro Atlanta. I went to Westlake High School at first, and then after 2 years in Westlake, I went to Sandy Creek.
Okay.
In Tyrone, Georgia. I had a really good time there. I went there kind of like the best time at that school. Won a couple of championships. Well, won the championship.
Okay.
With some good guys. Coming out of Sandy Creek, I was the number 1 cornerback in Georgia. Top corner in the nation. Worked real hard to get to that point. So like 9th grade, I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do, the football thing. So that was my whole point of going to Sandy Creek. I transferred there.
Is Sandy Creek known for football?
At the time, that's why I said at the time that I went, it was like a great time.
Okay.
It was just the school, the people, the whole foundation. They was just big on winning. Mm-hmm. So it gelled together there pretty well. So we won the championship. From Sandy Creek, I went to UGA, University of Georgia, in Athens, Georgia. Probably one of the best times of my life. I had a lot of success there. Started as a true freshman there. And just, I thought I was going to be there for my whole career, going into the NFL. That was always my goal, going to the NFL. Challenges, all type of mental games, the mental aspect of the game. That's when it kind of started getting serious and kind of just start seeing a little bit more clear. So I went through some stuff there.
Okay, so you were talking about being at Georgia. Is Georgia where you had some challenges? And I heard you say you wanted to finish your career there. So did something happen?
Right. So that's when it was I won't say his name. There was a coach, a new defensive coordinator that came in, and like I said, I started as a true freshman. So going into my sophomore year, during that spring, I'm working super hard. I hate working out. I'm already a little guy. I don't like working out, but I know that's what it takes to, obviously, to win. So, I'm working super hard in the weight room, super hard, extra hard. So then spring comes along, and there's just a lot of mental games going on, and with my personality, sometimes outside looking in, it looks like I'm never serious. People who know me know, we might be in a serious, but I don't look serious. I'm probably smiling and laughing, so that bothers some people. And coaches have egos and stuff like that. So going to spring, the coach, like I said, I won't say his name. Going to spring, he puts me in the boundary for those who play the football. I'm in the boundary playing boundary corner. So he puts me behind a walk-on at the time. So that's unheard of. Somebody who started the season before and then next season you playing behind a walk-on. So, but it was just a mental game. They just messing with my mental. So I didn't take that well. So that spring going on, it's just I'm still behind this walk-on. No problem because I know who I am. So I'm just going along with it. And then the spring game, from the fans, kind of sniffing out what's going on. They're like, Shaq, man. So spring game, the coach started me because for the fans' sake, I get pulled out of the game for bobbing my head to the music in the stadium. And that was kind of like the last straw. So after that, long story short, after that, my defensive coordinator who was there before the new coach came, he went to Louisville. And so I just took some time on it. honestly, I didn't really pray about it or talk to my parents about it because all my success and everything was, I made it happen. Like that's what I wanted to do. Like my parents didn't tell me to play ball or any of that. So I kind of always handled stuff on my own at this young age. Looking back on it, so boom, I leave UGA. It was hard because that's where my heart was at.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was from Georgia, top player football, Georgia. So that was real hard. So I left, and when I first started thinking about it, it kind of hit me like the fans. They all unfollow me on Twitter, Instagram. Like my followers going down. So I'm kind of feeling it. You know, they not making me feel good. I'm like, damn. But at the same time, I'm just a person. Excuse my language. I don't give a fuck. So I didn't care. My ultimate goal was I know where I want to be, NFL. So I left and went to Louisville.
So you leaving was you deciding to do what's best for you, regardless of the
of anybody how they felt. My parents felt. My mom, she didn't really she didn't think it was a good idea. I didn't care. So I'm 18, 19 years old at the time, making my own decisions. But these are critical,
very big decisions.
Critical decisions 3-4 years down the line. So I made a decision, and then I transferred with the Louisville. And prior going to Louisville, I'm like, it's Kentucky. I'm like, who the hell wanna die? It's Louisville. I didn't even open their mail when they sent it to me in high school. So I go because I was always bigger picture. So boom, I go outside. I sacrificed that time and go to Louisville, and that's when stuff kind of also got real for me as well. So I go to Louisville, my new defensive coordinator. I had to sit out a year due to the NCAA rule. I sit out a year. That was a task, sitting out, not playing. That was my first time doing that.
How did that affect your mental? Because I know you said like the game for you was a big mental thing. So I imagine going from Georgia, being a starting player, not having that pan out, and then going to Kentucky and then having to sit out. How was that for you?
It was good because I'm also like the type of person I keep a positive mindset through all the bullshit because I'm always bigger picture. Like it's gonna pay off. So it wasn't really a bad time. One of my other buddies, Josh Harvey Clemens, he hell of a ball player. He left Georgia and went to Louisville as well because I defensive coordinator. So me and him, spent a lot of time with each other, and it wasn't bad. Just practicing, working out. Basically almost for nothing because we didn't get a chance to play because we had to sit out. So it wasn't too bad. Louisville, it was a cool, low key spot. So that next year, 2016, sit out 2015, come back 16, and I performed good. I make all ACC. So it seemed like the plan is just going how it's supposed to go. Finish that season, then probably the next spring so this is the year. So going into 17, I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready for the NFL. Like this is the year for me. Like I said, I'm working extra hard in the weight room. I hate the weight room. Anybody working hard in the weight room. So maybe during spring I break my finger, get caught in the face mask, and then I believe I dislocated my elbow before the season, going into the season. So boom, I come back from those injuries. When I finally get back into my groove, it's like Florida State game. So this is like the season where my quarterback Lamar Jackson, like this is Heisman candidates type season. So he's going absolutely crazy. We ranked in the nation. So I come back first 2 games, and then we play Florida State, one of the biggest games of the year. We smoked them, but I'm playing super good. High ankle sprain right after halftime, and that's when this shit got super real. So high ankle sprain. I keep trying to come back. I play corner, so I'm on my ankles a lot, you know, versus a running back or a quarterback who can kind of, you know, finesse it a little bit. It didn't go good. Like, so I ended up sitting out the whole season, high ankle sprain. After that, the head coach at the time, I won't say his name either, at Louisville, he didn't like me either. So that's when, at this time, it's like, maybe if I could have been more open to talking to maybe my parents or somebody who I looked up to about my problems, I maybe would have made another choice or another decision and probably stayed at Louisville and just, you know, just slowed down a little bit, because my mentality was always, you Shaq Wiggins, so it ain't shit you can't do, or there's no school you can't go and play ball at. Like, I'm me and I know me. So, you know, just another childish decision that I maybe could have, you know, basically, you know, made a different choice and just stayed. So I chose not to stay.
You know, so you're operating off of ego.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, you know, some real things for, like, especially men, so it's a lot of ego, a lot of guilt trip going on, so.
Can I go back to something you said? You mentioned that you were having some problems that, you know, looking back, you wish you would have talked to someone about. Do you feel comfortable sharing what those problems were?
Yeah. I mean, it's really just, you know, just having that somebody to talk to, like, should I do this? Or how do you feel? Like, you know, do you think I should, you know, like, should I stay? Or, you know, where should I go? Or, you know, just something like that. But that's how I started, so that's all I knew, because everything football-wise, I started it, I looked into it, got into it by myself, for myself, you know what I mean? With a lot of others help, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, I made the decision when I was in like 8th, 9th grade. I'm like, you're going to be the #1 cornerback in Georgia and in the nation. So that's what I did. And then after I did that, it just kind of, it's like a gift and a curse. So you kind of just bet and depend on yourself to handle all the situation, because that's all you know. So I probably could have just, you know, like, I probably could have maybe talked to my sister more about how I'm going about it, or talk to my mom more, or, you know, like I said, somebody I looked up to, but I really didn't, and I just.
Did you feel like they wouldn't understand?
Yeah, that's part of the problem, because like people with this whole college football thing, a lot of like parents, everybody, like, y'all just see when you turn the TV on, you know, come to picture day, all the fun festivities, all that. It's the total opposite. Like, behind the wall, like inside the locker room, inside the weight room. You're talking like 4 or 5 years of strictly 7 in the morning, school, your day in at 11 o'clock, 6 days a week.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, that's a lot for an 18, 19, 20-year-old, and you just get accustomed to it, and you've been trained your whole life damn near to wake up, train, go to school. So it's not feeling like a lot, but in reality, this shit is a whole lot.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was just that. So I'm like, you know, they're not really gonna understand what I'm really going through, cause you really can't explain it, you know, unless somebody didn't been through it. That's like trying to tell somebody how to fly. I don't know how to fly. I never been behind. I didn't go to pilot class, so y'all really don't know. And then that'll get frustrating, getting some advice from somebody who
from the outside.
Yeah, and you don't know nothing about what I'm going through.
So what about your teammates? Did you ever feel comfortable talking with them?
I mean, yeah, but like, it's, you know, they help you get through it for sure, but they going through the same thing. So it's like, you know, it helps during certain relationships, friendships. You know, you have somebody, you know, keep your head up, or, you know, maybe like me or not, or Corey might call every blue moon, you know, what's going on, or, you know, I seen you got hurt, or I seen, you know, what's going on up there, like that. But
so more of like just checking in.
Yeah, just checking in. That's, you know, that's teammates before, but nobody really to come to and just let it all out. Like, you know, like, what should I do? Because If you go back, I should have just stayed at Georgia. But things happen for a reason, so that's how I just look at it.
Okay. So you're at Louisville, you're deciding that it's not really working for me here either. I want to leave. What happens next?
So I leave Louisville. At this time, I'm projected to go to the NFL. So I feel comfortable with leaving. So now at this point, I just gotta perform. So I leave. It hit the net. It go all over the internet, all over, Shaq transferring, but he's transferring again. So even that, I wasn't worried about that because at the same time, knowing me, like I know what type of player I am, and I know what type of person I am. So all these stereotypes painted on me and stuff like that. So go to Tennessee. I visit a couple schools. I go to South Carolina, maybe one other school. I could have took another 5 official visits, but I didn't because I'm just like, I'm older. Which I should have did that too. I should have took all my, you know what I mean? But I'm just like, I'm older, man. I ain't no high school recruit. Like, let me find out this business, like, where I'm going. So I just go searching around, and then, long story short, I go to Tennessee. I go to the spring game. I know some of the players at Tennessee at the time, like Cam Son, Alvin Kamara, Barry Boys. It was comfortable. They needed cornerback help. So I'm like, okay, well, this could be like your introduction. You playing in front of 100,000. You already got a name. Shaq, we can go back to Tennessee. I'm playing against the best teams every week. Why not? Boom, I go. Worst decision of my life. Worst decision of my life, literally. It was just a lot of promises made, a lot of stuff that was said. Didn't keep their word. I almost said his name. I want to say his name, but I'm not, because I grew up, for people that watch, I grew up. The coach at the time, it was just made promises, made certain gestures. It just was a bad move. So at the time, summertime again, I'm working my ass off. Camp get there. For people who know me as well, I be having bad growing problems, so I injured my groin during camp. And I sit out maybe 2 weeks. I come back. I was starting before I messed my groins up. I come back. I'm a senior. I'm a graduate senior at this point, so I know the game. I know what's going on. I come back to practice. Stuff looking a little fishy. I ain't really getting as many reps. So I'm the type of person, let's talk about it. If it's this and that, this it. But if I feel like I'm being handled a certain way, that's another thing. Like, I kind of made those decisions, like on and off the field, as far as talking to coaches, just dealing with the coaches overall. Like, I could have did a lot of stuff better, but I just thought I was handling it like a young man, like my mom raised me to. Like, when I got a problem, like, let's talk about it. So I'm 19, 20 years old. I'm looking at these grown ass men in their eyes, like, coach, what's going on? Cause I got a last name on my back. So what's going on? So overall, there's a lot of childish things on the sideline at Tennessee, as far as asking the coaches, taking their headphones off. Why the fuck I'm not in the game? Like, what is going on? So it will be after games. I go talk to the coaches, ask them why I didn't play. They said I didn't know the plays. That was absurd, because the plays were very simple. And I just came from a complex defense with Grantham defense. So it don't get no more complex than that. So, like I said, it was just a lot of BS going on. So mentally, it messed me up bad mentally, because this is when it got super real for me. Like, this is when it got, like, the realest. As the season going on, I'm not playing. My wrist ligaments, I got a cast on. At the time, Tennessee didn't have no small shoulder pads. I'm all about appearances. Like, as far as I'm on the field, I gotta feel good, play good. My shoulder pads way out here, like a goddamn plane or something. Trying to swag myself up. It was just hard. So, majority of the season, I don't want to play football at all. Like, this is Shaquille Wiggins saying he don't even want to play football at all. I lost my urge. I lost everything. So, at this time, now they telling me, if you don't get it together, then you won't be able to participate in pro day and all this stuff. It's just little stuff they throw at you to keep you in line, and so to say. So, just during the season, I didn't play. Didn't really start playing a little bit as I going into the offices, talking to the coaches. So now all of a sudden, I didn't know the plays, but somehow I'm on the field slowly but surely. So I get on the field, but I'm still at the same time, I'm not myself. And before the game even starts, I don't even want to put on the football pads. So my parents probably didn't even know this at the time either.
So what did you do with all of the negativity that you were feeling? Because I hear you fighting through injuries, trying to figure out what's going on with your future, right? Feeling like people are playing with you essentially. You're on the field, you're off, you know the plays, you don't. You're not feeling good, you don't feel like you look good on the field. So, like, how are you navigating not only that, and it sounds like you were also dealing with a lot of social media pressure because you had such a presence and such a stardom. So how are you, like, truly navigating through this time as a young man, but you're not talking to anyone?
I just used to pray. I just prayed a lot. I prayed a lot, and I just have I got a real strong mental, and like I say, like it's always the bigger picture for me. Like, we can take 1,000 losses right now. Like, we can get beat up right now. Like, we can go out sad right now, but like, it's all about like the bounce back. So with me already making that name for myself and just going through all this at the same time, I'm just like, it's gonna be handled because I work too hard. You know what I mean? So it sounds easy, like just me saying it, but it's just I didn't let myself panic, like over panic. So I'm like, okay, calm down day by day. But at the same time, as I'm looking at the future so much, like you could really burn yourself for looking into the future too far. You know what I mean? For good and bad reason. You know what I mean? So it was like from day one, instead of just, I enjoyed college, but instead of like really just enjoying day by day, you know what I mean? It was always, man, just get through the fucking workout for, so, you're going to the NFL in 3 years. Like, you shouldn't really be thinking about that. And, you know what I mean? Enjoy the time, go through the time, go day by day. So I used to go day by day, and like, again, I just always, it probably made it a little easier because I 100% believe in myself. Like, when it came to cornerback, like football. So like,
no doubt about that.
No doubt, like, it's nothing to talk about. Like, everybody, it could be 1,000 people in the room, and like somebody like you, and they speaking to him, how many cornerbacks in the room? Who the best? Who think they the best cornerback? All 1,000 cornerbacks gonna raise their hand, but it's really only one person in the room who really believed it. You know what I mean? And that was me. So
that kept you going.
Yeah,
knowing that no matter what's going on around you, like, I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, and I understood, like, even as an early age, I understood, like, you could go to church every day, you could do right by people, you can take a bath at 3 times a day, you eat healthy. Like, some bullshit is going to have, it's like 100% guaranteed. So it's like, you had a lot of success, so like, this is the bullshit that you gotta go through, like, cause it's guaranteed.
Like, it's inevitable.
Yeah, you have to go through that. So I'm like, okay, this is what I gotta go through to. So that helped me too. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's always harder going through it, but just that mental part of thinking like that, like my everyday thoughts. I'm like, okay, you just got to go through this. Like, you have to go through this, cause when you started it, You know, it was a little ugly at the beginning, but you've been on the fucking roller coaster for a long time. So like, this your downtime. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of translate it. Yeah. Just ready to get out of there now. So I started to leave, but like I say, they were, you know, you leave, you can't come to pro day, you know, threatening me. So I stayed, finished the season, went to pro day. Pro day was terrible. I just wasn't myself. I wasn't myself, and really, like I say, like nobody really knew, because it's just hard to just keep me down. You know what I mean? It's just hard to keep me down. Like my mental is just too strong.
Well, I hear you say that, but it also sounds like you were having a difficult time. So even though you want to be positive and you want to keep pushing and keep your eye on the bigger picture, I can imagine that there was a part of you that still felt like your dream was slipping away.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been many nights that I couldn't eat, and that I just in the mirror, I'm just asking, like I'm looking at myself in the mirror, like Shaquille Wiggins, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? Like how I'm laughing right now, but I'm talking about something serious. But like stuff in life be so messed up. It's like, like I can't believe that.
Did you have a backup plan?
I didn't. So that was another thing. So back to me in the mirror, I'm like, what are you gonna do? Because from 8th grade, it's been Shaq Wiggins cornerback. So it's like, this is your last year. You against the odds. I'm small. You know, I ain't that fast. You know, just a lot of negatives by my name. So you done made it this far. So go to Tennessee. Pro day, perform at pro day. Not my best. Bad, terrible pro day. So at this point, I know I'm not getting drafted.
How do you come to terms with that?
I had already knew through half the season when my agent. That's prior. I mean, after the agent call, like when your agent drop you, that's you. You know, you in some deep shit. You in deep shit. So I really just didn't know how to feel. So I'm like, what am I? You know, what I'm finna do? So leave pro day. No, I'm not getting drafted. Watch the draft. Watch people who I knew personally who wasn't better than me got drafted. These my inside thoughts. Just, you know, cause I always, you know, like to see everybody succeed. So I'm just like, damn, like, you know, you it could have been you, but due to my choices from the past, it ended up like this. And with life, you know, you just kind of take, you take stuff naturally for granted sometimes, not even purposely. So, you know, just going through all that, and then I know I'm not getting drafted. So after the draft, I'm at least expecting. I'm really not expecting the call, but just with my name and what I've done in college, I'm like, you know, I'm gonna get like a free agent call or something like that. So, a couple of days go by, I'm like, damn, ain't no team called me or my agent yet. So, I'm like, you know what? I don't even care, man. I turn my phone off. So, turn my phone off for a couple hours, and my agent called my mom and my sister at the time, because I'm not answering because my phone off. So, my mom and my sister hit my girlfriend at the time. I answer your phone, you know, look at your phone. The Saints trying to call you to bring you to camp like that. So I'm like, I'm not even excited. I'm like, all right, bet.
Why weren't you excited?
I mean, it just didn't, the picture that I had painted, it didn't
look like
it. It wasn't, it didn't look like that. So, like, you go from, and it was a lot of ego and, like, pride too. Definitely pride, for sure, because I'm like, you know, everybody looking at me like they know Shaq going to the league, or they know, you know, that's what he known for. So
you wanted that moment.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's what you know what I mean? Like, that's how I painted it from day one, and, you know, having my mama and them right there. So it went total opposite. Like, total opposite. So, but I feel like I always enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed college, the experience. I was always, with, my teammates and just the whole school, how stuff went. Just the whole, everything it came with. I enjoyed it all. Like I never was caught into my name. I mean, I played with players who had bigger names than me, so I never got caught up into the, my name or it was just when it got to the end, I'm just kind of like, like you Shaq Wiggins, bro. Like, you got something to live up to, because I always, what I'm looking for, I always executed. You know what I mean? So it was like, you're not finna come through this time. Like you made this happen. Like you made all this happen. Like, make it happen. And I just fell short.
You blame yourself?
Yeah. Cause I made all the decisions.
What decisions do you think impacted your future the way that it did?
I moved too fast. Like mentally. Like maybe it's cause I was young, maybe if I was like, okay, think about it. And then go call your mom and dad about it. But I didn't do that. It was just, alright, bet. I think they attacking me. I think I gotta prove something to them, the coaches. So like if I am now, it's like, the whole world of business. So treat like a bit, from day one though I should have. So it's like, treat like a business, do whatever they tell you to do. But my parents didn't raise me like that. Like if it's not the right thing, so if I feel like I'm being treated wrongly and I know I'm working hard and I know what I done did to get here, I was maybe caught up into that side of it more than just strictly ball. I'm like, it's ball, and then I'm like, I got a Shaq too. Like, I don't care about you being a coach. You're not finna talk to me like this. You ain't finna make me do this, run this, and you got me messed up. But it's like, look, bro, you in a recycling game. Like, for one, when you leave here, somebody else is gonna have number 6 on, and it's gonna be somebody else next year who come in that's probably better than you, and so on and so on. So it's like, just be even more humble and listen to the coaches and just play the game. And for everybody else that's gonna watch this interview, like the young guys, like, you have to play the game to like beat the game. So, go along with it. Like, yes sir, yes. And like I say, we men, young growing men, it's a lot of pride, it's a lot of, I ain't letting them talk to me like this. I ain't let them do it. Cause it's gonna be worth it. 3-4 years, you either gonna be in the league or, 9 to 5, back in your hometown. And when you get to that step, it get even realer.
Okay, so you've already come to terms with the fact that NFL is not going to happen for you, but you get this call from the Saints, but you're not excited. So kind of walk us through this portion of your life.
So I really wasn't excited, just because overall, I didn't get drafted. That was probably like my last box to check off, like, get drafted. It could have been 7th round, last pick, just get drafted. But I already knew I wasn't getting drafted. I didn't do nothing the last season because I had high ankle sprain. And then I come back this season, I literally have no stats, maybe like 6 tackles. That's it. So boom, I go to, I really wanted this. So I'm like, okay, my whole family from New Orleans.
Oh, so they're excited.
So at the time they excited, and then I'm like, okay, this what God was. This what He, you know what I mean? This what He prepping up. So I'm like, okay. After Katrina, my whole family separated New Orleans. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, this is probably a chance to bring my whole family back, together. I'm like, bet this what we got in plan. So I go. I perform okay. I could have been a little better, but I performed okay. End up getting cut. So then I'm going home on the plane. Cause I'm just not used to losing. So I get cut. Okay. So I'm on the plane. I'm just going through the motions. I'm like, okay. So then it was a league, like a new league coming up. But at the time, I'm still waiting on my agent to kind of work his ones and twos. I'll be on another NFL team. Mm-hmm. So at this time, I'm just working out. I'm still in football mode. I'm working out. I'm gonna get a call. Like, I know myself. It's me. I'm gonna get a call. Steadily working hard. Like I said, the AAF coming around. So then somehow, me and Michael Vick link up and get kind of cool. So he was supposed to be one of the coaches. So we kind of hang out a couple times before the league started up like that. So now, I feel even better. So, okay, Vic telling me it's a good league, it's this, now, like that. So, go to the AAF. The league was, it was decent. It just didn't last long. So, that opportunity to kind of get back in the NFL was kind of slapped in the face again. So, now, now I'm continuously getting slapped in the face. So, you get punched twice. It's like, okay, boom, boom, okay. So now you keep punching me 3, 4, 5 times. Now I'm a little dizzy. So now I'm like, okay. I go back in the mirror. Shaquille Wiggins, what are you finna do? So now, this when it gets super real, when you becoming like a real young man, adult. Cause now you don't have college funds coming in no more. You don't have all your girlfriends at school no more taking care of you. You don't. It's a lot of stuff that's cut off now.
How old are you at this time?
Maybe, how old are we when we finish college? Like maybe 22.
Okay.
21 and 23, between that, something like that. So now I'm AAF the lead and cut off. So now I'm steady just working out. But now I'm putting it to my head in perspective. Okay, now you gotta make some money. So now it's the money thing starting to really like come into the front of that brain. Like, you gotta have a job. So now you learn the different stuff about the real world. Cause really, just from when, let's just say 8th grade until 12th grade. Well, 8th grade until the end of college, you living on a roller coaster. Free everything. Yes to everything. So, get to the real world. It's real as ever, as we know. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to figure it out. So, I'm working out every day for 2 years. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the ball.
So you had no plans at this time, but you were still working out.
Right, I'm just working out. So I'm just kind of, agent, waiting on call, we working. Nothing is, no money coming in. I don't know, like I say, you don't know what, growing up, you should get you a plan B. What are you talking about, lady? Plan B. Like I say, go back to, I play football. I don't need no plan B. I play plan B. And you always think in the moment, that's not going to be me. I don't need plan B. Never think of a plan B. So, plan A is terminated, and then plan B get the real world. So, boom. Working out every day. Shout out to Lily. She worked me out every day for 2 years. I do that. I post some of my workouts on Instagram. So I probably pray. At this time I'm praying. I'm figuring out day by day. I go back into that mode. Like, I go day by day, work out, just keep it cool. I don't have no income coming in. I really don't. It's only God. It's God. I don't know how I was making it.
How was your mental state during that time?
I was low. But with help, I had a lot of great dudes around me that play in the league, that play corner as well. So a lot of multi-millionaires. So as I'm at the workouts, I'm hanging with these guys. Doing the workouts, I'm hanging with these guys. So now it's like I'm in the environment where my mind is stimulated. Like I'm basically in my mind, I'm rich, and you know, I'm like I'm driving in my car. I in my head, like how my gesture and my posture is like I'm driving in a limo truck or whatever car I want at the time. Like that's how I'm viewing it in my head. Yeah, I'm really feeling like that. Just being around these guys, so they keeping me motivated at the same time. But when I leave and go to sleep and turn the phone off, it's like I'm looking at the ceiling. I'm like, Shaquille Wiggins, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do out here? What are you gonna do out here? So, it just like I say that I'm going through that same phase for 2 years. Like, what are you gonna do? I'm trying different stuff. Calling some of my friends, I'm doing like it's something to really sit up. I'm calling, like that's why I appreciate guys like Corey. Like he had this stuff going on. Man, I need a job, man. This is I go do valet. I never had a job before in my life. This is super new to me. Like I'm like valet. I'm like, okay, I don't even really know how to back in now, but. Cause I did valet for a little while, I know how to back. That's all I do is back in. You know, but even with that, I use the valet as a tool to my mind. Well, I'm gonna whip some of these cars that I'm gonna have them in a couple years. So let me just see how they drive. So I might do something I ain't supposed to. I might go behind quarterback. I might take it up the hill a little bit, then come back and park. You know, just so I'm riding the Bentley. So, at that same time, I'm working valet. I'm steady working out. I'm still working out. So I just use the cars I was parking as motivation. Like, you're gonna drive this. You'll have this. Going through that time. So, like I said, I was posting my workout videos sometimes on Instagram. So probably like 2 days, I ask God, I pray. I say, God, if the NFL is still in my future, give me a sign. So my quarterback in college, Lamar Jackson, he sent me a text message of him and the head coach for the Ravens. So he sent it to me, and I just text him back. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? I'm like, yeah. He like, send me your highlights. He sent me the screenshot of him and Cole Harbaugh. He like, Coach, Shaq Wiggins, da da da. He like, nah, I'm not too familiar, but the GM knew me. So, I'm like, damn. So, it scared me a little. It scared me at that point. So, first person I called is my sister. So, I called her. I'm balls to the wall crying. My eyes
are feeling in that moment?
Yeah, this Lamar just made me cry. I am crying my eyes out like my sister's like, what's wrong? I'm making her cry now. But I'm just, I prayed 2 days to God, so I'm like, man, this shit too real. Like, cause I didn't ask Lamar to do that. It was just, I'm like, what made you do that? He's like, bro, I just seen, you still working at it, and I know what you're capable of, and I know what you really can do. So, I'm like, damn, so I am crying my eyes out. Like, it man got me crying. So, I tell my age, I'm just waiting on this info. I done told him all this, and the coach tell them all, like, we can bring him in for a workout, we bring him in. So, boom, I'm like, this it. Like, this what all I went through.
Yeah.
So, it go, time go by, and for sure, Corona-19 come. And once that came, like, at the beginning, I never got to do the workout. So So now, you know, the NFL a small window for those who play. It's a small window. You got to really get in. You got to know somebody. You got to really know somebody to get in. The NFL is like the mob. Mm-hmm. It's almost like the government.
Got to be connected.
Yeah, you have to have a special connect. Mm-hmm. So, and I had some workouts in Canada as well behind the Ravens workout, but obviously it got cut off short. You know, this is when Corona first came out, so boom. So now I'm like, okay, like now, where you gonna get some money from now? Like,
another punch.
Another double drop, you feel me? Drop kick, spin kick to the head. Like, I'm like, damn, okay, so I go a little deeper. And like, you know, maybe a level of depression. So now I'm just laying down on the couch here, they looking at this ceiling, like asking myself again, like, what are you gonna do? Like, what you gonna do?
Did you know you were experiencing depression at the time?
It's like I knew I'm depressed. Like, yeah, I'm depressed because I'm down, I'm broke. You know, so yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm depressed. I know I'm depressed, but it's not to the point of like I'm about to go crazy. Like, my parents kind of thought I was going crazy. My coach, my DB coach in college, you know, he a college check. He was like, you know, I'm just proud of you. You ain't did nothing crazy yet. But I'm kind of like, you know, looking at them, like, you know, like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go crazy. But they knew that's what I really wanted to go to the NFL, get drafted, and it's not going for me at all. So. But it just go back all to my mental and how I just view life. So then I get into the cycle of, you know, football on pause. So I'm like, I can't wait for it no more. I worked out. I want y'all to hear me out. I worked out every single day, 365, for 2 years. So after that, I'm like, no more Wayne. You know, I'm just going with the flow. Whatever comes to me, that's what I'm going with. So long story short, I pack up all my bags, like literally the next day, and go do car insurance in Canada. Called a insurance adjuster. So I have no idea what I'm doing. It was only God. You know, he let me get away, go to another country, you know, seek out, clear my mind, just get my mind back in momentum flowing. So boom. Go out there. I don't know what I'm doing at all. I don't even know how I'm out here. How I got out there is even crazy. So it's like I shouldn't even be out here doing something I have no business. I don't know what I'm doing. So I go out there for like 2-3 months. I last 2-3 months. So Corona it's the middle of the year, it's coming to the end. So I try to say, you know, I'm probably, you know, try, you know, one more time if it comes. But it just kind of just never came, and I never said it like I'm done with football. I just kind of let it be done without saying it, just on its own. So so pretty much after that, you know, I just kind of had to just really sit it out and just figure out what I wanted to do, like with my whole life now. So now I'm in life mode. I'm like, man, football. Probably ain't you no more. Mm-hmm. But I had to kind of fix myself and fit myself in them clothes to where I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because, and that's another reason why I was kind of confused on why they looked at me like I was gonna go crazy. But I was never gonna go crazy because I knew I had I did a lot of stuff I didn't want to do. I gave it everything that I had literally from day one. Mm-hmm.
So looking back, you feel like there's nothing more I could have done to
The only thing I could have done was me as a person while I'm in college. You know, those key little decisions I was talking about, like certain little choices. You know, just pretty much overall shut the hell up, do your 3 years and get out.
Right.
You know, like to all the younger guys, when you go to college, shut up, go to practice, play ball, and just leave. No matter what the coach, just go play. So then I get my mind into, okay, ball is kind of over with. So now I'm I'm getting into the mind state of, you know, like let's figure it out. So I'm still kind of working out, knowing that football is over. So then it came to a time where I stopped going to work out. So now I'm looking like how I'm feeling. So now I got a little beer belly. I'm skinny. I'm just not in it. I ain't motivated no more. And after I kind of just wrapped that up in my mind, that the football, I just went into how can I get some money more and just go back to being the person I was and using my resources and the people around me and, you know, just learning from my mistakes, other people's mistakes. But most importantly, it's going to sound wrong, but I went to using people. And when I say using people, it's like good friends, people you know, like resources, like use them. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what I'm like basically saying, like use them. Like if somebody you know can help you or in this area, like ask them. You know, like put your pride. I had to put my pride down a lot of times. Like ask them, like see if it works. Mm-hmm. See if they'll help you. Like folk be like everybody. I'm like, it's not that simple.
It wasn't that simple because you didn't want to ask.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, just kind of after that, I just shifted my mind and long story short, I got into trucks. And I'm like, with all that hard work that I put in, like this is why I was okay without the ball. I was like, all that hard work that I put in, from day one, I know it's gonna come out how I want to in the end. So I was always focused on, I'm a good person off the bat. Mm-hmm. So like, basically how I look at it, I'm a good person broke, but I'm gonna be an even better person when I'm rich. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all that hard work you did, it's gonna come another way.
It's not in vain.
Right. Mm-hmm. Gotta come another way. Like I know it like I say, just some stuff like I know that it's gonna come another way. I like money. I like doing what I want to do. I like to be free. So it's gonna come another way, and and it's coming. So like I said, I like to do what I want to do. I advise everybody to do what they want to do. Entrepreneurship. However you want to go about it, but. Like I say, I just used all that pain and everything that I used. We still young, 26. So all that I looked at, everything I've been through, viewed and grasped, I just balled it up into one and kind of like just turned it into, kind of like a basketball. So now I'm just bouncing around with all this pain. Like I got all this pain, but I'm controlling the ball. Controlling all this pain, and I'm just like, I just know firmly, I believe like it's gonna come another way, and then it's coming, like it's coming, proof in the pudding, it's coming. So it all led me into trucks, 18 wheelers, and so that's what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm. And mentally, where are you now?
Mentally, I'm pretty stable. Like I'm pretty stable. I'm only stable and I'm only able to talk about this and react like this because I understand. Mm-hmm. So it's like even when you going through some bullshit, like if you understand it, you're going to treat it more correctly than a person who's going through the same thing but can't understand it.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Wrap their head around it.
Yeah, like you don't even understand why you're going through what you're going. Because in reality, you really don't know until the end of the day. But some people, philosophy and spiritual thoughts are different than others. But like I say, I just believe in myself 100%. On and off the field, like whatever. Like I went all the way to Canada. Like tomorrow, I packed all my bags up today and went to Canada tomorrow and did a job on customer service on the phone with Canadian. I didn't know. So there really ain't nothing I can't do. And, you know, the world is about, communicating with people and making money. And right now I'm about money. I'm about the money. I like money. I want the money.
So how long between when you were supposed to work out with the Ravens and you getting into trucking? How much time had passed?
Maybe like a year or two. But go back to me training with Lily. Just a group of guys I'm around. One of my good guys. Like, he playing Canadian ball right now. Gary Peters. Shout out to Gary. He kind of stuck my eyes on the trucks. Because I started off with a Sprinter truck. But it was just, it's a lot behind trucks and, everything that comes with it. It's just not, something you just get into and it's just, all rainbows and butterflies. So, but he got my attention on it because I saw what he was doing for him. And before he started making his changes, he said that he went to go get a 2021 BMW. He got a new spot. I'm like, hold on. He said he was gonna do it. So then he come back and then it's really showing. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let's lock in. So we lock in and I'm just, I'm going around. I'm going with him and another one of our buddies, cause they been into the trucks for a little bit longer than me. So I'm going to the truck lots. But now I'm just listening. Cause at the time I'm not having no money to buy a truck or nothing. Like, these $20,000 trucks and all this stuff. So I'm just listening and just going through the motions, just going with the flow. So I shout out to Gary. Like I get into the trucks because of Gary. He got me locked in on it, and then it was just God. Like I went from Sprinter truck to 18-wheeler. I can't tell you how. I don't know how, but I got 18. I don't know how.
How much time had passed before you transitioned from the Sprinter trucks to the 18-wheelers?
Like 5-6 months, maybe a little more. But I was just trying to give it time, just learning from my past. Like, just slow down. You know what I mean? Just let the truck, don't move too fast. Just let the truck see what it do, see how. My first time, any business, your first time in it, you go back to, you're going to take those losses. You're going to take those losses. Like, you need them. Like, you need the losses. So it's like, even now, like, I'm going to react, because it's inevitable. Like, I'm going to react not the same as when the good shit happened, but I'm going to react more calmly and more profound and correctly when the bullshit happens, because I already know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So it's like, I do that, and then I had 18-wheelers out of my mind anyway. I was like, I can't afford it. I ain't, but like I said, God, you just got to pray and just believe. But like, going back to when I was in college, I'm like, when I get out of college, I'm like, it's, something gonna happen, cause I work too hard, and that's another reason why I don't feel too much pressure, or cause I always did it for myself and my family, so I didn't have nobody that I was trying to prove a point to, or just keep that image up. Like I'm just doing this solely because I want to, and that's me. So it really, of course it affected me, because I feel like my dreams hurt me. So like I know anything can hurt me, because my dreams hurt me. So I just take it all. I just take it all in stride, and I just know at the end of the day, something good gonna come out of all my hard work. And then I left back a lot of stuff to, when I get old, I can look back and like, I feel good about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and shout out to the dude who really helped me really focus in on my dream, Glenn Ford. He'll stand in front of a train for me right now. He at an early age, that's why I was ahead of probably my peers when it came to, cause he made me lock in, like he made me understand certain things early, like as a 8th, 9th grader. And with that, as time went on, I was able to, be a what's the word I'm looking for? I was able to be a person that younger kids could look up to.
A role model.
And a role model. Yeah. Yeah, so I ended up, I was embracing that, as I was in high school. I'm like, man, these kids, like they come to work out with me and the rest of my, teammates and guys I hang with. So now, once you looking back, like majority of those younger guys, like this is how crazy life is, and like it always, you just gotta live humble, like you gotta be humble about it, because a lot of the guys in this group that me and Coach Ford we started, it's called I Dare You. And this was what in 2000. This was probably this was like middle, like 8th grade, and up until now. So I don't even know how many years that is, but it's a long time. A lot of work, a lot of hard work been put in. But a lot of kids that was younger than me that worked out with us with I Dare You, they was in 6th, 7th grade. Now they in high school, in college, and they the number one at what they do. And a lot of them who looked up to me are in the league that they multimillionaires.
Wow.
Yeah, so I always, that made me feel good that a lot of guys, a lot of younger guys who are succeeding in college, in high school, and in the league, like, I could just, not be a part of their journey, but just be, they can say, like, I looked up to Shaq when I was coming up. Like.
So after you had decided that you were going to put your dreams of going to the league to rest, and you're focusing on, finding your identity outside of football, being in the real world, navigating, having real life jobs, but then also in the midst of all this, you don't have any money, right? And you're a very money motivated person, as you mentioned. So who was your support system during this time where you were broke and you didn't have the money to live the life that you had dreamed of? Who did you lean on?
So, it's funny you ask, because so many people, the whole world, they scream, family matters, family over everything, only the family. They scream that. But do you really know the meaning of, like, family? Like, what family is for? Like, people you can call on, like, no matter, when you're going through good and bad, just all that. So it was literally like nothing but my family, like my mom, dad, my sister, and my nephew Chase. Maybe a couple of, but just, and like really, man, my sister, man. Whew. Yeah, my sister, she without my sister, I wouldn't be here right now. She actually named me. My mom ain't even named me. She named me Shaquille. So definitely family. Like it's nobody who gonna be there like family. And I didn't learn what family meant until the past 3-4 years. You know what I mean? I'm 26 years old, and I ain't know what family meant until the last three years. Because when everything go to shit and you're not winning no more, and you're not, Shaq Wiggins, and even family members, they don't call you, they not calling you, they not, like, and I seen it, but even still, it never hit me how it should have hit me because of my mental. Like, I just always took that as extras. People call your phone every weekend. We talking 4 or 5 years straight. Every weekend, family members out the blue from both sides call you, checking, the league, Shaq, when you get to that league, Shaq, good game, text, making sure they text you every week. They all disappear. Like all that, everybody tune, There's no more from the females to the certain friends you thought you had. You know, all that gets cut out when everything's slowly slowing down. You start really seeing the true colors of everything, like how everything operates. Just you go from people, you know, knowing you in public and just giving you free this and showing you love. So it's just automatic. Even social media, like you go from getting tagged in posts every week and thousands of likes and everybody taking pictures of you like that you not even aware of. So it's just all a good feeling. But when everything went to shit, I literally had nobody but my family. So
it's a wake up call for you.
Yeah, for sure. Like you, cause you really don't understand. Like I said, people really don't understand what family really means until it's time to be family. So, you know, it can either be a friend, you know, real blood, a friend and a family member. You know, that's if I can call on you. What I think a true family member friend is we all grown now. So if I can call, whenever I call you, I expect you to pick up and be there for me, vice versa. With anything, you know, especially if you need my help, like I'm super genuine, like, and I always remember. So like, when I had nobody else to run to, and I had to call Corey, and maybe he, you know, didn't have room to put me on the job, or maybe, you know, like he probably couldn't, but he did. At that time when I needed him to, like, he did it for me. So later in life, or whenever he need me or whatever, it's almost like I have to. Like I might be far away, but I got to, because he called me and asked me. He could call somebody, but you know, that's just the type of dude I am. Like I always remember. So, you know, if I hit the mega million for 100 million, you know, it's people getting blessed.
Right, you remember.
Yeah, I remember. You know what I mean? I remember who helped me when I needed, because nobody has to help you.
Right, that's right. Everybody's dealing with their own stuff, so
right.
It does mean a lot when people take time out to support you, especially when you really need it, right? Because it's easy to scream it, like you said, when everything's good, but like when it's dark outside, are you really gonna show up for me? And so it sounds like your family really came through, and that's, you know, big. Some people don't even have that, so that's amazing.
Sure.
Well, thank you for your authenticity today. Thank you for showing up and being honest and vulnerable. Is there anything that you would like to share with our viewers? Any last words?
Just it's a lot of, like right now it's you know, this social media stuff. Like I just want people to know that it's okay to like be yourself. Like being yourself can get you further than the person who you trying to be like.
Say that.
You know what I mean? So it's like I just want everybody to like be themselves and don't get so caught up into like the social media wave. Like, you know, it's just getting a little worse now. Like, you know, we all on social media, but it's, you know, it's getting real. It's getting real tragic out here, and like male and female. Like, I just want everybody to be themselves and do what they want to do and be free. But like, don't, you know, just stop with all the facades and the gimmicks and the fake stuff. Like, people really losing friendships and lives over not being themselves. So I just want people to be themselves. You know, to anybody that's going through anything out there, you know, right now in our world, there's a lot of mental illness going on, especially for us males. But you know, just with myself, just the importance of having something to stand on, the foundation, having something to, you know, lean on personally. You know, you can't always depend on, you know, having, you know, even mom and dad to lean on, a friend, girlfriend. You might be going through, you know, relationships, and, you know, you just feel like you always need somebody. You know, as long as you know yourself, that's another thing that why every time I, you know, I get knocked down or that rock get put in my way, like I know how to get over the rock because you know, I just walk by faith. I have faith in me, myself, and if you you know, if you believe in yourself and you have faith in yourself, you know, day by day, it's really nothing you can't do. So just, you know, just with knowing that, you know, if you woke up, then you got a purpose. You know, if you didn't wake up, then, you know, that's what your calling was. You know, your work was done here. But you know, when you get up every morning and you able and you can do whatever you want out here as grown people, you know, I think we should do that. And you know, just keep your thoughts pure, keep your heart pure, like keep everything clear, and you should get the way you want to get to.
Beautiful. All right. Well, this has been episode 3 of When the Ball Drops. I was joined today by Shaquille Wiggins, and we'll see you next time.